Oh, I have been summoned, everybody, to talk about this next brand. Asic spends $100,000 on a rebrand, but is it worth it? Stay tuned to find out. What is happening, everyone? It is Squishy Joshy here, and we are back again with another episode of Brand Patrol. And you might want to take out your AirPods for this one, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission have decided to do a rebrand for $100,000. If you're not familiar with Asic, it's basically an Australian government company that is known to maintain, facilitate, and improve the performance of the financial system and the entities within it. And a lot of what they do has to do with when you want to register a business name. But out of nowhere, this fairly outdated logo has now fallen into the contemporary trap and has become like every other logo out there. Here we have the original logo, and here we have the updated logo. Although while I do like this new font better, you've just got to wonder, like, how can you justify this to be $100,000? And this $100,000 is split into two different things. So you've got $40,000 for the creative development, and you've got $60,000 for the collateral and the rolling out. When I think about what their final result was, I just got to wonder, what was this creative development? Did this designer just come in here and be like, you know what? Let's just change the font. Most likely the scenario probably went something like this. The designer walked into the office, chucked a bunch of designs on the table, and they just had a look at them and they're like, oh yeah, those look pretty cool. And then they found this one that just basically looked exactly the same, but with a font change, and they decided to go for that one. So now this designer has walked out of the room basically $100,000 richer. And I think as I look into this, there's a lot of designers out there that are just a bit shocked by the news. However, I only think they're shocked because the price was revealed. If no one knew that it was $100,000, no one would be making this much noise. They may as well get Kondo to come in and help them throw out the trash so that they can start from scratch. But hey, why don't we jump into Illustrator and see what we can do instead to design a better logo? Or better yet, how about we just redesign the Australian government logo? So let's open up Illustrator now. Here we are in Illustrator now, and we're going to just touch up this Australian government logo. Using the same mentality that this other designer had. What we're going to do is we're just going to do this, and then we're going to go Australian government, and we're going to pick, let's say band script. I think that could be a cool font. And then we're just gonna center that. Whoops. Just gonna put that there. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking that's looking better. The question is now, where's my $100,000? Come on, guys. Australian government.
Authorised by the Australian government.
I honestly feel like there's a lot of designers out there that are a bit shook by the news that they spent $100,000 on this rebrand, when pretty much all you did was change the logo from a serif font to a sans font. I honestly don't know what to say about that. I'm just going to give this redesign a 1 out of 5. Next up! Now I know what you guys are thinking. Joshua, why are you always bullying these brands? Well, the thing is, I'm not. What I'm doing here actually is just critically analyzing these design processes that are going into rebrands. But looking at the Slack rebrand, well, I have to tell you something. This is a rebrand that I actually like. For those of you that don't know, Slack is basically an instant messaging program for teams. Now, originally their logo looked like this. If you look at these images here, that logo didn't work everywhere. And so it was evident that they needed to change it. Now, looking at this new logo, I think that it's not too far off from the old design, and I feel like it can be applied to a lot more things, like whatever they decide to put it on, like printing material or merchandise, or perhaps their digital marketing stuff. Yeah, you know what? I think they did a good job on this rebrand. I don't have much to say about it, but I will give it a 3 out of 5. And finally, Wattpad. Shout out to my friend Kelly for suggesting this one. I actually had no clue what Wattpad was until today, but it's clear that this thing was part of many people's childhoods. So people must have had some sort of nostalgic connection to the original logo. And from my research, I understand that this was the world's most loved social storytelling platform. Sorry guys, I had to get dinner midway through the video, but let's just wrap this up now. So as I was saying, pretty much with this Wattpad, people were writing up these stories and sharing it with their friends so that they could also enter into their the realities that they've been creating through these stories. But then when the logo changed, everyone started to freak out. Now, I like the execution of this rebrand, don't get me wrong. I like the various messaging and the sort of layouts that they've got happening, but there's a couple things I don't like. If you remember back to my second Brand Patrol video, we talked a lot about W brands and being very obnoxious with logos copying one another. You're always going to have a W brand out there, but this one doesn't quite work. And I mean, it's literally just a W as a brushstroke. And I'm not a big fan of that. This is a storytelling platform, and while I kind of get the idea that a story is supposed to flow and it's supposed to be like you're traveling into like this imaginative world, I feel like the brushstroke is more related to something for painting versus actually like writing. But whatever the case is, I feel like a lot of your users have an emotional connection to the old logo, and this new logo really didn't appeal to their interests. And so I'm giving this rebrand a 2.5 out of 5. Well, that's all the time we have for in today's episode of Brand Patrol. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, we want to continue educating you on branding, marketing, and graphic design things. So if you like what you've seen, hit the like button and subscribe, leave a comment, share the video with your friends. And as always, you've just been branded by Brand Patrol. And Marie Kondo.